What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Nerf Fortnite HR. This blaster by Nerf is a spring-powered, magazine-fed bolt-action blaster with a really wonky appearance, even for Fortnite. Let's get into it. Included is the blaster, barrel extension, magazine, bolt handle, darts, and instructions. Installation into the bolt handle is a snap. Literally. External overview of the blaster, starting up at the front. There is an in-strike barrel lug, and this is a barrel extension. Oh yeah, in-strike barrel lugs. I flippin' love these things, man. This is an in-strike barrel extension that's very unique in design, but if you want to put this on your Strife, it's compatible. It's got kind of a wonky shape, and the iron sights are built into the barrel, and not on the blaster, which is unusual. But that attaches like any other barrel extension. And of course, the blaster itself has an in-strike barrel lug. Oh yeah, I only get to say that like once or twice a year now. What the heck, Hasbro? Give us more tactics, bro! But it's compatible with your other barrel extensions, so if you want to change it up, you totally can. Moving on, up top, there's no in-strike Tactical rail, no other tack rails anywhere. Right here, we have a little access door that's kind of a funny shape. If you get something sharp, you can open it up. I actually can't open it with my fingers. It's pretty tricky to get into. But that access door lets you get your fingers into the chamber to clear out certain types of jams and malfunctions. However, I did not experience any jams with this blaster. Moving back to the priming handle, this is a bolt action system, which is pretty cool. To prime, you do that, and it does lock the bolt in the down position like this, but it actually doesn't need to be down to fire. So if you think it's a waste of time, you can leave it up and fire just fine. So it's there if you want the emotional response of feeling like a sniper, but you don't need to use it. The prime strength required is in line with other Nerf Elite blasters on the market, but it's not a super smooth prime. It's not just friction, it feels like there are obstacles in the way of this prime. So the first part of the prime is pretty smooth, like a normal Nerf blaster. But then right here, it bangs into this little piece, and it feels like it's a collapsing cone type of thing. So then the back half of the prime, you're pulling back this other piece, and it's really jarring. It feels like two different steps within the prime. Granted, if you just yank on it, it will work. It's not like it's gonna jam, but it's not super smooth. And this priming handle's only on the right-hand side. It's not present on the left. Down to the magazine. To get the mag out, you strike the mag release, which is right on the center line here. If you have long fingers, you can extend your middle finger and hit that, or just use your offhand thumb to strike it like that, and out pops the magazine. The included magazine holds 6 Nerf Elite darts. The bottom end is a new shape for Fortnite, but if you want to put this in your Strife, you totally can. It's a normal in-strike mag. And this magwell is compatible with all of the Nerf brand magazines that I tried it with. And it works just like all the other Nerf magwells, pretty standard. Moving down to the trigger release is pretty standard, but this blaster does have slam fire. A bolt action rifle with slam fire sounds really strange, doesn't it? But it works because you don't have to put the bolt handle down to fire. So you could hold down the trigger and spray off foam pretty quickly. You have to turn the blaster over to do it, so ergonomically it's a little strange, but it has slam fire, which is cool. And if you don't want to use slam fire, just don't use it. You'd rather have it and not need it. Over on the left-hand side of the blaster, we have an unjamming button right here. After you prime this blaster, you can't prime it again. Pushing down this button disables that lock, so you're able to prime it again, and that's useful to clear out certain types of jams and malfunctions. Again, I didn't have any jams and malfunctions, but it's nice to have. And it's worth noting, this is a recessed jam button, so you kind of need a knife or a pin or something to shove in there, compared to some of the other blasters with a protruding unjamming button, which is a little easier to access. It's really not something you need to use that often, but it's worth noting. Now down to the grip. This grip is larger than average, which really surprises me to see it on a Fortnite blaster. It's pretty beefy and chonky. It feels great for my large hand, but if you have a really small, young hand, it might be a little too big for you. Smaller hands will be able to use the blaster, but it does not appear to be optimized for those hands, which being a Fortnite-themed blaster surprised me a little. And the rear of the grip is filleted, so it's pretty smooth, but they use a chamfer up front, so it's a little sharper. Not gonna cut you or leave a mark or anything, but worth noting. And no sling or lanyard mount at the bottom of the grip. Moving on to the stock, this is a fixed-in-place, non-adjustable, non-removable stock. But there's nothing else to open, manipulate, or control back there. And another note on cosmetics, there's no texture in this blaster at all. It's totally smooth. And at first, it looks pretty cool, but I have fingerprints and smudges all over it. And it also makes it a little slick to hold, including the grip. It's a pretty subtle difference, but Nerf usually puts some texture in there, and it makes it a little more livable after you own it for a few months. It's a minor cosmetic gripe, but it's worth noting. That is an external overview of the Fortnite HR. Now I'll show you the blaster firing. Shooting blue Nerf Elite 2.0 darts. Now using slam fire by holding down the trigger. Operating the Fortnite HR went pretty much just as expected. I did not experience any jams and malfunctions, and everything worked as expected. As I mentioned, the back half of this prime is not super smooth. You kind of run into an obstacle there. So I didn't have a super positive emotional response, because with a blaster like this, the emotions and the smoothness and ergonomics are super important. And that kind of tore into my experience a little bit. I'm surprised they designed it this way. And shooting slam fire was pretty cool. I also felt like a gangster because you had to shoot it sideways in order to get to the action, but no other firing notes. To compare this blaster to others, I put it up on my chronograph. And with Nerf Elite darts, achieved an average velocity of 62 feet per second, which is noticeably slower than the 70 FPS Elite average. This blaster visibly shoots slow, so definitely not a high performer. That is the objective information I can provide on this blaster. Now to my personal opinion. Overall, I can't figure out what they're trying to go for with this blaster. It's bolt action, but doesn't have a scope rail. It doesn't have the overall vibe of a sniper rifle. It shoots pretty slow in muzzle velocity, and the prime action isn't buttery smooth. If it had a buttery smooth action, I could see somebody buying this just for the cosplay or for the emotional effects. So I don't have a use for this in my collection. I won't be using it in the future, but I'm not a Fortnite fan. I'm not a cosplayer. I'm more performance oriented. So a bolt action system like this is not up my alley. It's not something I'm going to use. But that's just my personal opinion. Now to the question to buy or not to buy. Honestly, I don't think many people are going to be happy with this one. I really think you should spend your money on something else. If you're a huge Fortnite fan and you want something from the video game, Nerf has a bunch of other cooler Fortnite blasters out already. They've got the SCAR, they've got the L96 or the BASR, which are cooler, more fun blasters to use with a little better performance. The operation's not super smooth and the performance is really bad, so I really don't recommend this one to anyone. The only exception is if you look at this and you're like, that's the coolest looking blaster ever, I need one. For whatever reason, okay, then buy one. That is pretty much the only person that's going to buy this and be really satisfied with it. If you're looking for a sniper rifle vibe, check out the Fortnite BASR. It looks like a sniper rifle, it feels like a sniper rifle, and you get the emotional response of being a sniper, and it also has slam fire. So no, I don't recommend this one. If you've watched this video and you're gonna buy one of these, will you please leave me a comment and tell me why? What are you gonna use it for? What are you into? What kind of Nerf are you playing? Please tell me. This is one of those products that right when I had it in my hands, it's just like, who's Nerf trying to sell this to? I don't get it. But maybe I'm missing something, I don't know. But hopefully I've laid out all the information you need to make an educated purchase decision on your own. If you'd like to buy one of these for whatever reason, I'll put a purchase link in the description box below. That concludes this video review. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.